These were the scenes in Rio de Janeiro as Brazil registered their first victory in the World Cup.
Brazil might have just discovered the version of themselves the rest of the World Cup should fear. A week ago, they were being questioned after a frustrating 1-1 draw with Morocco. Now, 3 goals before half-time, Matheus Cunha with a brace on his first start of the tournament, Vinícius Júnior involved in every goal, Endrick coming off the bench and nearly scoring, Neymar still waiting to properly enter the story, and Ancelotti already making the kind of small tactical adjustments that can change an entire tournament. But this was not just Brazil beating Haiti 3-0. This was Brazil finding answers. The striker problem suddenly looks different. Vinícius no longer looks like a player carrying the attack alone. The midfield looked cleaner with Casemiro, Bruno Guimaraes and Paquetá connecting the team. And even with only 7 shots, Brazil were ruthless enough to finish the game before Haiti could breathe. So, are we simply watching Brazil recover from a slow start? Or are we watching Ancelotti quietly build a team with too many ways to hurt you? This is why the World Cup may already have a Brazil problem. Brazil didn't walk into Philadelphia looking like a team that had already figured things out. They walked in carrying questions. A week earlier, a 1-1 draw with Morocco had felt more like a warning than a result. Vinícius rescued the point, but the performance left a familiar concern hanging in the air. Individual brilliance, yes, but where was the attacking rhythm? Who was actually leading the line? Could Ancelotti turn this collection of elite names into a balanced tournament machine? And remember, this is Brazil, 5-time world champions, the only nation to appear at every single World Cup, a team not here to compete, but to end a wait that stretched all the way back to 2002. The expectation is never survival, it's control, style, authority, and eventually star number 6. Morocco had shown the gap between expectation and reality. Brazil had possession, they had Vinícius on the left, but clean connections through the centre were missing. The striker position looked unsettled. The attack leaned too heavily on moments of individual magic, and when Brazil needed control late on, it was Alisson making important saves to preserve a point they should never have been fighting for. So Haiti wasn't just about 3 points, it was a test of whether Ancelotti had been listening. His response wasn't dramatic, it was precise. He kept the 4-3-3, but made one change that altered everything. Matheus Cunha replaced Igor Thiago at centre forward, and that single decision changed the behaviour of the entire front line. Cunha didn't stand still between Haiti's centre backs, waiting for service like a man expecting room service. He moved, dropped, drifted, connected with Vinícius, attacked loose balls. He gave Brazil a forward who created space instead of just occupying it. Haiti came out with a back 5, packed the central spaces, and for the first 20 minutes it actually worked. Brazil had offsides. Rafinha had a goal ruled out early. The timing was off. Haiti's shape was compact enough to make things uncomfortable. Then Brazil found the connection, and the match changed immediately. 23rd minute, Vinícius drove into the box and forced the issue. The ball broke loose. Cunha reacted like someone who understands that the most dangerous place on a football pitch is inside the box when defenders are scrambling, and Brazil had their opener. Not a beautiful team goal, but direct, aggressive, and created by movement rather than sterile passing. Exactly what was missing against Morocco. The second followed the same logic. Vinícius attacked the structure, Cunha was in the right space again, and Brazil went 2 up without needing extended domination. Then, just before half-time, Haiti held a high line and Paquetá punished it immediately. One forward pass, perfect timing, and Vinícius was clean through, finished through the goalkeeper's legs. 3-0 before the break. But the goal told a bigger story than the scoreline. Brazil were no longer just waiting for Vinícius to invent something from nothing, they were finding ways to release him into space. And that distinction matters enormously, because when Vinícius receives with defenders already set, he's dangerous. When he receives with space to run into, he's nearly impossible to handle. Against Haiti, he was involved in everything. Created the opener, helped create the second, finished the third. Player of the match, and rightly so. Behind him, the midfield looked cleaner too. Casemiro as the stabiliser, protecting the centre and giving the fullbacks license to step. Bruno Guimaraes controlling tempo. Paqueta operating with genuine freedom as the link between midfield and the final pass, not floating without purpose like he sometimes has, but actually connecting things. Now, Brazil weren't perfect, that has to be said honestly. 7 shots, 4 on target, 3 goals. Clinical but not overwhelming. 8 offsides, showing the timing still isn't fully clean. Haiti improved after the break, forced Alisson into saves and created 6 attempts of their own. Rafinha picked up an injury before half-time, which is a real concern given how important his width and pressing are to the structure. But tournament football in June isn't about looking perfect. It's about finding solutions before the knockout rounds arrive and punish you for not having them. Against Haiti, Brazil found several. A striker profile that unlocks Vinícius rather than isolating him, better midfield balance, the ability to punish space in behind, minutes for Endrick, who even had a goal ruled out for offside, and a 3-0 win without Neymar anywhere near the centre of the story. That last part matters more than people are giving it credit for. For over a decade, every opponent prepared their entire defensive plan around Neymar. He was the reference point, the creator, the symbol. But Vinícius isn't Neymar, and that's not a criticism, it's a completely different kind of problem. Neymar controlled rhythm, Vinícius breaks structure. Neymar slowed games until he found the pass, Vinícius speeds games up until the defensive line loses its shape entirely. Brazil arrived in Philadelphia needing answers. Ancelotti provided them, quietly, without drama, small adjustments, precise changes, no revolution. Just a great tournament coach fixing things before the rest of the competition has time to notice. And once those fixes clicked, Vinícius Júnior took over.
Brazil's striker position has followed this team around like an unresolved argument for years. After Ronaldo, Adriano, Luis Fabiano, Fred, Brazil have kept searching, not just for the best finisher, but the forward who makes the whole attack actually function. Against Haiti, Matheus Cunha gave Ancelotti an answer. First start of the tournament, 2 goals before half-time, but the brace was only part of it. The bigger detail was how his presence changed Brazil's attacking behaviour entirely. Cunha didn't stand still waiting for crosses. He moved constantly across Haiti's backline, dragging defenders into uncomfortable decisions and giving Vinícius a moving target instead of a static body to play around. 23rd minute, Vinícius drives into the box, forces the save, Cunha reacts before the defenders can reset. 36th minute, Vinícius finds him again, cleaner this time, Cunha finishes with conviction. By then, Brazil's attack looked nothing like the one that laboured against Morocco. More rotation, more directness, more uncertainty for defenders. Cunha doesn't need the team to constantly serve him, he creates conditions for others to become dangerous. And when your most explosive player is Vinícius Júnior, a striker who opens lanes for him is just as valuable as one that taps in from 6 yards. Then Endrick came on in the 64th minute. Thought he'd made it 4-0, flag went up for offside, but the crowd's reaction told you everything about what this kid represents, even when the goal doesn't count. Here's the thing, Cunha and Endrick are completely different problems for defenders, and that's exactly the point. Cunha gives Brazil fluidity, Endrick gives Brazil penalty box menace. Add Igor Thiago as a more traditional fixed reference, and suddenly the striker debate isn't a weakness, it's a tactical menu. Start Cunha for rhythm and movement, bring Endrick when defenders are tired and space is open, go Igor if you want something more physical. 3 different problems from one position. And the genuinely alarming part, Brazil did all of this without Neymar, who missed the match still recovering from a calf injury. 3 goals, top of the group, a striker solution found, and their most experienced attacking figure hasn't even properly entered the tournament yet. Rafinha's first half injury adds a concern, but Ryan got valuable minutes and Martinelli came on late, another direct runner with pace to burn. Over a 7-match World Cup, that bench depth isn't a luxury, it's a weapon. This was not Brazil at full strength, not full fluidity, not every attacking piece available, and still, by half-time, the game was over. If Brazil can look this dangerous while still incomplete, what happens when Ancelotti finally has everything available?
Carlo Ancelotti didn't need Brazil to explode against Haiti. He needed them to improve. After the Morocco draw, the problems were clear. Too dependent on Vinícius, striker role unsettled, midfield not connecting possession to real danger. His answer was simple. He didn't change everything, he changed the right things. Cunha brought movement at centre-forward. Paquetá played with genuine freedom. His pass for Vinícius's goal proved exactly why that mattered. Casemiro protected the middle. Bruno Guimaraes kept the ball moving. Better balance, better spaces, better Brazil. And now, look at the picture. Top of Group C. Vinícius is the attacking leader. Cunha may have solved the striker debate. Endrick is pushing for minutes. Neymar hasn't even returned yet, and the bench still has Martinelli, Ryan and Paquetá ready to change games. This isn't just talent, it's variety. And variety in a 7-match tournament is everything. Brazil aren't complete yet, but they're already improving. And that's the most dangerous thing about them. So, after what we saw in Philadelphia, the question has to be asked. Are we simply watching Brazil find their rhythm, or are we watching the early stages of a team that could finally bring the World Cup home for the first time since 2002?